All right, Shalom, Israel and Gentiles alike. I'm Israelite Charity, and today we are going to go through some information that I feel like we need to understand when it comes to the scriptures and knowing the mindset of what's behind and what's inside the president's mind, and also what is going on with the leaders outside of this country when it deals with the UN forces, Russia, China, North Korea, what's going on with them? Because in all, America feel like some people is going behind their backs talking and basically thinking of a plan to defeat America either militarily or economically. All right. So, but what we need to do is get more understanding in the scriptures. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen, and if the Most High willing, show you why it's very important to pay attention to the scriptures and going precept upon precept and knowing what's in the mindset of the president and what's in the mindset of these countries outside of our land. All right. What I mean by our land, I mean Babylon. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to share my screen. All right. Okay, so the first verse we're going to go to get more understanding is Isaiah 14, 4 and 6. All right. So Isaiah 14, 4 and 6 says that thou should take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how has the oppressor ceased and the golden city ceased? All right. Look at verse 6. He who smite the people in wrath with a continual stroke. So when you think about a country that smite, think about a person. All right. Let's think a little smaller. When you think about a person that smites someone with a continual stroke, what do they think in the long run? Wait, hold on. Let me wash my back. You know what? These people might sneak up on me and, do something against me or conspire against me. So what's going on when you destroy the earth, destroy the people, practically enslave all the people on the earth? This is what the Edomites have done, but we got to understand that it was the Most High that allowed this to happen. All right, but we got to understand that in the mindset and in the psyche, in the back of the head, all right, we got to understand that Edomites and also the president of Babylon know what goes around comes around. If you plant bad seed, you reap bad fruit. All right. So we go to verse 6. He say, he who smite the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nation in anger and persecuted, none hindered. That means nobody didn't try to stop you. Nobody didn't try to stop you while you was. They couldn't stop you. You the major power, all the way from Rome, Greek to Rome, on down to Babylon. All right, so couldn't nobody hinder you. So you was able to do everything that you want to do. But now that these other superpowers are all getting together and it's dropping American dollar, all right, seeing, okay, these people don't keep their word. They go back on what they saying. President after president and after president have all went back on what they've said and lied. Especially when it comes to the foreign policies. All right. Verse 9 says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It is stirred up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. So all the chief ones of the earth, it has raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nation. So all the kings of the nations right now is conspiring against this country, Babylon, financially, trying to get rid of the dollar, economically, especially with all of these terrors that's going on right now. So they're all conspiring against this country, okay, especially militarily, because that's what we're going to go down. That's what we're going to discuss in a minute. We're going to go over the whole military mindset of these other countries and why the president and the Pentagon is in the situation and in the mindset that they're in right now. All right, so we're looking at verse 10. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? So they looking at this country, Babylon, and saying, wait, hold on. We got bombs like them. We got a military. We have nuclear weapons. We have a greater force than we used to have. All right. So maybe if we all collaborate and get together, which we're about to see in a minute, maybe if we collaborate together, we will be a greater force against that country, Babylon, that's persecuting and destroying the earth. All right. So I want to share something with you guys. All right. Let's go here. All right. All right. All right. So we're about to get a little deeper into the Bible and also in the mindset of what the president is in, and also why are these other countries getting to that together and collaborating so much against this country, and why is this country so fearful when it comes to the end. All right, excuse me. Why is it so fearful? All right. Now, let's go to some more scriptures. Now, if we go to Jeremiah, if we go to Jeremiah 49 and 13, okay, it says, for I have sworn by myself, said the Most High, that Bozrah shall become a desolation. So we understand when Christ break the clouds, he's going to be in all white. He's going to have an all white garment. And after he go to Bozrah, he's going to come back, and his garment he's going to be covered in blood, covered in all red. All right. And they're going to say, where are you coming from? And he's going to basically say, I came from Bozrah. I came from Edom. All right. So he said, for I have sworn by myself, said the Most High, Bozrah shall become a desolate, a reproach, a waste, and accursed. And all the cities thereof shall be a perpetual waste. I have heard a rumor from the Most High. So the scriptures say, I have heard a rumor from the Most High, right? But when he say, I have heard a rumor from the Most High, we got to understand and try to figure out what is that rumor. Because overall, when we look at this scripture, it says, what? I've heard a rumor from the Most High, and an ambassador sent among the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her and raise against her in what? Against her in battle. So when we look at this scripture, we see that an ambassador is sent among the heathens, okay, to the heathens, saying, hey, this country right here, all right, the earth may just be better without her economically, militarily, and without all the nonsense that the country is putting out. All right, so they said, look, an ambassador sent them on the heathen saying, hey, rise against her in battle. All right, so who's going to rise against her in battle? Just like we just got through reading Isaiah 14:6, right? If we go to Isaiah 14:9, it says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirred up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. Right? It has raised up their thrones, all the kings of the nations. There we go. All right. Verse 18:1 brings it home. Right? Watch this. Let's start by Revelations 18:1 says, after these things, I saw an angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is falling, and is falling, and it's become the habitations of devils. Now watch this. If we look at this, when it says, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is falling, it's falling. Understand that it's saying it's falling because Babylon is slowly falling. All right. All the way around, Babylon is falling. From the famine that is going through, from the water systems, dealing with fluoride being in the water in certain areas, all right, dealing with our lakes drying up, all right, dealing with a lot of the economic situations, the tariffs, on down to the government structures, on down to the Federal Reserve. All right. So everything in all right, is getting everything in all is getting slowly taken away from the citizens and from this country. All right. Now let's keep reading. In the whole of every foul spirit, in cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine and wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Okay, so this is saying that America, which is Babylon the Great, all right, has always grown, has always been known through the consumers. Back in the days, it used to be a really good country when it came to exporting and building goods and making goods, until that was shipped out to the foreign nations. But now we're a consuming country and we buy goods from everybody. All right. So because of that, the merchants of the earth are wax rich through the abundance of our delicacies, especially our stock markets in various markets of that sort. Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. All right. That ye be not partakers of her sins. What is her sins? All right. And that ye receive none of her plagues. What is her plagues? Soon we're going to go over some of those plagues. All right. And matter of fact, if you check out one of my videos that I've made before dealing with nuclear weapons, I mentioned Babylon the Great inside that lesson, where you could also go into that lesson and see that I spoke of nuclear weapons, especially if you want to know if nuclear weapons are in the scriptures. All right, so verse 4 says, I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sin. So showing you that the Most High people have to eventually leave this great country called Babylon the Great. All right. And that ye receive none of her plagues, showing you that plagues are coming, and plagues have been coming. COVID, from COVID to various other diseases and sicknesses, and a lot of them are false flags, but nonetheless there are plagues, and the Most High is allowing this to happen. But this great country, Babylon the Great, must be basically punished for what is done to the earth and the Most High's people. Because the scriptures tell us, he that shed blood on the land, his blood must be shed on the land in order for that land to be cleansed. All right. So when we go back to let's go to verse 6. It says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works, and the cups which she has filled to her, double. Now, the government knows this, and this is why everybody shook up. And this will take us to the next part of this understanding and where I'm trying to go with this. All right. All right. So we're going to go here.
Your thoughts, but as you can see, there's a lot unfolding, and we're going to get into more footage as to what came out yesterday. And you heard them discussing the world leaders. You saw Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un talking about swapping out organs in a hot mic moment, and also Donald Trump accusing them, and that is why we are now seeing accusing them. Your thoughts, but as you can see, there's a lot unfolding. And we're going to get into more footage as to what came out yesterday. And you heard them discussing the world leaders. You saw Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un talking about swapping out organs in a hot mic moment, and also Donald Trump accusing them. And that is why we are now seeing accusing them of conspiring against the United States. That is why we are seeing this coming out in the last 24 hours. Trump directs the Pentagon to prepare for military restructuring against China and Russia. Now,
what was I just saying? All right, now we got to understand the mindset that's behind the world leaders. They understand this. What people need to understand is that karma is real. Christ spoke of it. He said, you plant bad seed, you reap bad fruit, and they understand this. That's why they're all scrambling right now. Hey, what's going on? Trump directs the Pentagon to prepare for military restructuring against China and Russia. Why? You know what you do. But little that they know, they're going to get repaid for what they've done to the Most High people also. All right?
Let me know your thoughts. Are we going to World War III? With what we saw in the last 24 hours, China, North Korea, Russia coming together, celebrating, China unveiling new nuclear power, new weapons. Trump saying that there is conspiring going on against the United States of America. And now we're seeing headlines coming out like this. Are we going to World War III? If so, put WW3 in the comments. If not, put peace. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But let's go ahead and take a look at this article so that way you can see it for yourself. And as you'll see, there are several articles coming out about Trump directing the Pentagon to prepare for military restructuring against China and Russia in the last 24 hours. Let's go ahead and take a look at this so you can see it for yourself. Now, it says U.S. President Donald Trump has directed the Pentagon to be ready to detour China and Russia if required, signaling preparations for a large-scale transformation of the American armed forces. Speaking on Fox News on September 3rd, yesterday, and I shared with you this video footage when it came out, U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth confirmed that he had received an order from the president to begin planning for a major restructuring of the military. That is why President Trump has charged us at the Department of Defense to be prepared to rebuild our military, reestablish deterrence, not because we seek conflict. And we've been clear about that with China and Russia and others, Hegseth stated. Now, at the same time, President Trump has accused China, Russia, and North Korea of conspiring against the United States. And that is that Truth Social post I just shared with you. He came out and called them out, saying they are conspiring at this meeting against the U.S. He made the claim as China leader Xi Jinping presided over a massive military parade marking the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II and Japan's surrender. The president did not elaborate on what he meant by conspire, but reminded that the United States played a decisive role in liberating China from foreign occupation during the war. Earlier, Chinese President Xi Jinping, Russian leader Vladimir Putin, and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un appeared side by side in Beijing on Wednesday at a grand military parade commemorating the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. So there you have it. Donald Trump coming out and letting us know, hey, we're going to be prepared for potential responses from Russia and China. Here's another one you can see. Updated today, September the 4th, Trump has directed the Pentagon to prepare for military restructuring as Russia and China grow closer. Trump has accused China and Russia and North Korea.
Like, what you so scared of? I'm telling you, these people know the scriptures. Like, why are you so scared? All right? You guys all conspired against the children of Israel. All right, all sit at the table and said, let's take their names, language, and everything from them and conspired against us. Now the Most High is turning the hand on you superpowers that believe that you could get away with whatever you want to get away with. And there's no God that's looking at you. Now you shook up trying to figure out what's going on. But guess what? Whatever plan you got will get exposed. All right? Check this out. We go to Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah 47. Let's start at verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstone, grind meal, uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg, uncover the thigh. Pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, Babylon. Why? Because the Most High have set it up to be this way. So all of this stuff, all of this military buildup, it's all works of the Most High. So everything that you think that you're about to do to be in defense or offense of the situation, it's all about to be uncovered, according to Isaiah 47:3. Thy nakedness should be uncovered. Yea, thy shame should be seen. And this is going on right now. America's shame is being seen. Nobody respects this country anymore. Nobody respects this government. Nobody respects the president. Nobody respects the states, the cities, on down to the people because of the government. Because your shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance. Okay? I will take vengeance, the Most High said. And I will not meet thee as a man. What do this mean? I will not meet thee as a man. This means when this country gets destroyed, Christ is not going to be back at that time. This is proof. This country, Babylon, will be knocked off the face of the earth before he shows up as a man. That's why the scriptures say, I will not meet thee as a man, right? As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, Ahijah, the Holy One of Israel. Set thy silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called what? The Lady of Kingdoms. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thy hand. So that's what happened. That's why I keep saying it was the Most High that dealt with this situation. And he was the one that had control over this situation the whole time. Because of the law, statutes, and commandments that we chose to go away from, the Most High gave us over to them. Verse 6 says, I was wroth with my people, showing you the Most High was mad with us. I have polluted my inheritance and gave it them into thy hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. They didn't show us no mercy. Millions of us died off the slave boats. Look what they did to the Mexicans. Look what they did to the so-called Native American. Destroyed us and continue to destroy us to this day. Locking us up in their prison houses and refuse to let us go. So the Most High have to come in and do what he need to do and break the chains off of us to get us free from this. And it says, you didn't show them no mercy. Unto the ancient, thou hast very heavily laid thy yoke. How? From slavery on down to now with their policies. Look at our school systems. Look what we got to raise up our children in. And they look at us and say, you know what? It must be, look at them. They're hoodlums. They're gang members. They're drug addicts. Look at you the one brought in the products. You took our language from us, our culture from us, everything from us. And you expect us to automatically get it straight like that. You had years and years and years ahead of us, head starts. And still benefit from the economy, benefit from your world, benefit from your earth. But it's okay now because the superpowers, Esau, Babylon, NATO, the banking systems, everyone know that it's over and we're at the end. Jacob is at the heel of Esau. Verse 7. And thou shalt say, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou shalt not lay at the heart. Neither did thou remember the latter end of it. See that? I told you, they don't remember the latter end. And this is with people, period. People do stuff, they don't remember what the latter end of it. You don't understand that if you jaywalk, you may get hit by a car. You can't get unalived making that move. Nobody think about the fact that what goes around comes around. That's the latter end. So because you shed innocent blood, your blood must be shed upon this land for this land to be cleansed. And also the scriptures tell us that if a man steal a man, this is against the law. I'm talking about the law of the Most High. The scriptures tell us if a man steal another man and that man is found in his hands, then that man shall be put to death. Are we not found in their hands still? Now, all of the planning that they're doing, everything that they think they're doing to prepare with getting all of the NATO forces together, and they're doing their military drills, trying to think of every way to substitute for the dollar. That's why you got your crypto. You got your digital dollar now. So you notice they're going to a system that they could more or less manipulate, right? Now, let's keep reading. Okay, so we're going to get a little bit more understanding. Verse 9. But these things shall come unto thee in one day. The loss of children in widowhood. They shall come upon thee, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorcery, in the great abundance of thy enchantments. Okay? For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. This country always trusted in their wickedness. All right? Always trusted in their wickedness. Now we wondering why the president is like, oh, wait, hold on. Why is Russia and China and North Korea getting together and they're having exercises and all this? Why is it your business? Oh, it's your business because you continuously rob, rape, and destroy people, and you continuously do it now. So now it's your business because you're a liar. Just like Satan, and because he's the father of it, always been the father of it from the beginning. Verse 11. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from which it rises. See that? They ain't gonna know where it's coming from. I don't know what these people doing. They doing secret code. I don't know what they doing. But I know one thing. America ain't gonna know where it's coming from. Babylon the Great ain't gonna know where it's coming from. Okay? In a moment of one day, all right? You losing children. All right? The loss of children in widowhood. All right? Verse 11 say, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from which it rises, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not know, shall not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly. Look at verse 14, y'all. Verse 14 says, behold, they shall be a stumble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to set before. Thus shall they be unto thee with who thou hast labored, even thy merchants. So this is showing you right here that it's everybody that is merchants with Babylon. See, Babylon is busy looking at all of the other countries. They busy looking at the wrong people. They need to be looking at everybody according to the scriptures. especially Iran. Especially Iran. And that's why they're looking at Iran so hard, because they know that part of the scriptures. But this is what they fail to listen to. Verse 15. Thus shall thou be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. So the people that you've been dealing with from the youth, from the time that you was even thought of, all of these people, they shall render everyone to his quarter. None shall save thee. This means all of them gonna gather around you and destroy you. It's going to be a lot of unaliving, all right? Thus shall they be unto thee with who thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall render everyone to his quarter. None shall save thee, all right?
Of conspiring against the United States as Chinese leader Xi Jinping presides over a massive military parade in Beijing. Soon after Chinese President Xi Jinping, Russia's Vladimir Putin, and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un were seen together in China, U.S. President Donald Trump directed the Pentagon to be ready to detour China and Russia if required, signaling preparations for a large-scale transformation of the American armed forces. U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, while speaking to Fox News, confirmed that he had received an order from the president to begin planning for a major restructuring of the military. That is why President Trump has charged us at the Department of Defense to prepare to rebuild our military and reestablish deterrence, not because we seek conflict, and we've been clear about that with China, Russia, and others, he stated. Meanwhile, President Trump has accused China, Russia, and North Korea of conspiring against the United States as Chinese leader Xi Jinping presides over a massive military parade in Beijing, marking the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. And also, here is another one here. Now, you can see Pete Hegseth. Trump orders the Pentagon to prepare for deterring Russia and China. Now, right after this, we're going to show some more video footage so you can see it for yourself. U.S. President Donald Trump has instructed the Pentagon to prepare for the deterrence of closer ties between Russia and China, raising concerns about global security dynamics. And a lot of people saying this is speculation of a world war. We're seeing major powers, global powers, Russia, China, North Korea, coming together, celebrating, and as they're doing this, unveiling new nuclear weapons together, and Donald Trump is calling them out. According to U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, the move was prompted by what he described as the weakness of the previous administration, which he said inadvertently drew Moscow and Beijing together, close together. Caliber AZ reports per foreign media. He explained that President Trump has tasked the Department of Defense with being ready to restructure armed forces, restore military morale, and reestablish deterrence. He emphasized that the United States does not seek conflict, but maintaining readiness is essential for the safety of the American people. Hegseth highlighted that U.S. military capabilities would be maintained across space, air, sea, and underwater domains, citing the Golden Dome system as a strategic asset that China cannot replicate. He also stressed that diplomatic efforts would continue alongside preparedness, noting that the president maintains excellent relations with Chairman Xi and intends to leverage this relationship to explore avenues of cooperation. So there you have it. We're hearing that they are trying to detour war, go the route of diplomacy, but at this time, simultaneously, Trump is ordering the for deterring China and Russia from a potential future global conflict. There you can see it.
That's not going to happen. Brothers and sisters, it could only be prolonged, but we can't go against prophecy and we can't go against scriptures. All right. Scriptures tell us, hold on, I'm gonna share this screen. Let me show you something. If we go to Let's go to Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50 and 8. Jeremiah 50 and 8 says, remove out of the midst of Babylon, and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be as the he-goat before the flocks. This takes us back to Revelations 18, when the scriptures say, come out of her, my people. So this is a direct precept to Revelations 18. It says, verse 9, for lo, I will raise up and cause to come against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they should set themselves in array against her. So this is what's going to happen to great Babylon. From this shall she be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain. So let's backtrack a minute, guys. All right, so when we go right here to verse 10, it says, let's go to verse 9. It says, and lo, I will raise and cause against Babylon assembly of great nations from the north country, and they should set themselves in array against her, right? Now, remember when we was in Isaiah 47? When we was in Isaiah 47 and 15 says this, guys, a direct precept showing you, it says, thus shall they be unto thee on who thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth, they should render everyone to his quarter. None should save thee. Right? Now, why none is going to save thee? When we go to verse 9, it says, for lo, I will cause to come against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they should set themselves in array against her, for this shall they be taken. Their arrows shall be of a mighty expert man, and none shall return in vain. Showing you this is talking about the weapons we have now. With the technology, with the missiles they have out now, you could basically pinpoint a fly hanging on the wall with the technology they have out now. All right? Now, why is this going to happen? Remember, I told you from the beginning, it's the Most High doing. Yes, we broke the Most High law, statutes, and commandments, and he put us in the heathen hands, but they didn't have to do us the way they did us, because he also said, the ones that touch you touch the apple of their eye. Okay, verse 10, in the Chaldeans, right? In Chaldea shall be a spoil, and that spoil her shall be satisfied, said the Lord, because ye were glad, because ye rejoice of ye destroyers of my heritage. So they was happy they destroyed the Most High heritage, because ye are grown fat, it's grown fat as a heifer at grass, and bellow as bulls. Right, now watch this. This is showing you what they're trying to prepare for. Verse 13, Jeremiah 50 and 13. Because of the wrath of the Most High, it should not be inhabited, but it should be wholly desolate. So it should be desolate. So we understand that this is a future prophecy, because Babylon today is Iraq. It's people in Iraq right now. Iraq is not desolate. So we understand that this is a future prophecy it's talking about. It's talking about the Babylon that's in Revelation 18. Verse 13 says, because of the wrath of the Lord, it should not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon should be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she have sinned against the Lord. Shout against her round about, she has given her hand. Her foundations are falling. Babylon is falling, y'all. Her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of the Most High. Take vengeance upon her, as she has done unto her. All right.